Hey mamas, and welcome to the Entering Motherhood podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Marie Bilger, a wife, mom of two, VBAC mama, and doula. Join us every episode to learn from professionals, special guests, and moms just like you, ensuring that you know what you need to know and discover things that you didn't know before. I believe in you. Let's doula this, and let's navigate the transition of entering motherhood together. Hello, and welcome back to the Entering Motherhood podcast. I'm so glad that you are here. Today, I want to talk about something that's really been present in my world specifically today, and something that I know so many mamas can relate to, and that's pregnancy stress and anxiety and different feelings and emotions that are going on that you might be having. I am currently entering my third trimester here with what will be our third baby. And even though I've been through this before, every pregnancy is seriously so different, and I've absolutely been feeling the weight of this season, not only physically, but emotionally and energetically. And I want to just share a few things that have been helping me both personally and professionally, and just overall making this pregnancy a lot more enjoyable despite a lot of the emotional and physical things that have been going on. And now specifically too, with this pregnancy, I am a full-time doula. Before I was working as a mechanical engineer, if you did not know that about me. And I also am a childbirth educator. So I've had the privilege of supporting so many moms, witnessing so many births, and really just supporting families postpartum and virtually, and having deep, very meaningful conversations with mamas. So I know firsthand just how powerful these simple tools and holistic hacks and tricks and things and such can help when it comes to calming our nervous system and being able to come back and center ourselves. First off, I just want to say that if you've been feeling anxious and overwhelmed lately, like I said just seconds before, you are not alone. This is such a common occurrence. There are a lot of different factors, a lot of different things going on, a lot of new emotions, hormones, feelings, changes, from inside out. And I just want you to know that you are not alone. It doesn't matter how many babies you've had. Pregnancy can truly, honestly, just bring up so much. There's excitement. Yes, there's a lot of planning and prepping and imagining and dreaming and organizing and decorating and things like that. But there is also a lot of different fears and pressure and judgment and doubts and exhaustion that is happening. And for me, right now, with having two kids at home, summer in full swing, and our third baby on the way, I really have been needing to slow down and tune back into my own rhythms and my own routine, just getting back in the swing of things. And our daughter is starting first grade in a couple of weeks, so I know that routine will help. And our son is going to be starting a little bit of a preschool setting going on. And I also have recently teamed up with one of my friends that are local, and we are swapping off kids once a day. So I take her kids, she takes my kids, so that we have time to dedicate to personal things like recording this podcast or editing different things or working on the summit that we have coming up. And it's just been really nice knowing that these routines are coming back into play and more of a structured schedule is coming. And hence why I felt the need to make the other solo episode that I did, episode 243. And that was all about slowing down and giving yourself that permission to not feel like you're behind or that you're not enough or anything like that. And now this is just some practical tips that you can use to just help slow down and recenter yourself and hopefully reduce that stress and anxiety that you might be feeling. And, like I said, we have been traveling this summer. We have been all different places. I have had updates to the website and the childbirth course that we have. And we're getting ready for our Build Your Village Summit in September. And I've just been reflecting on a lot and learning what it's like to just fully lean into this next season of motherhood while still showing up for the families that I support and the things that I want to do and how I want to show up in my business and my family and friends and personal life. So it's just all really a lot sometimes, but it's amazing watching it come together and see your dreams and the vision that you've had for certain aspects of different things really come together. And that is what having these tools and resources available can help do and get you there. So I've had those moments of anxiety creep in, and especially at night, I've been having a little bit of insomnia and things like that, and different thoughts circling around, and then those feelings of I'm not doing enough, but I'm totally doing a lot. So here's what I've learned from both my own births, my own motherhood journey, and also walking alongside other women. And you don't have to get rid of all of your stress. I think that that is impossible, but there are just some tools that we can have to meet that stress with more compassion and awareness and hopefully lower and reduce those things or allow you to be more resilient when it comes to different stressors or anxiety inducing occurrences that may be coming into your life. And so I'm going to talk about what's been actually helping and things that I use myself and things that I recommend to different families that I work with. And these tools are simple, but they are really rooted in real nervous system science, ancestral wisdom, and just deep listening practices. And there's a lot to it. And sometimes it's like, how can it be this simple? But it really is just bringing awareness to it and making it more available and practical and knowing that every little bit helps and you don't have to do all of it at once, but take a few things that might be useful and practical for your life. So one of my go-tos is different type of breathing techniques, either box breathing or deep breathing. And I literally just pause in the middle of my day, place my hands on my belly, feel my baby, and just breathe. Sometimes even just that deep breathing wherever you are can really help just shift your body out of fight or flight and into more of that resting state and feeling of safety that is desperately needed in sometimes. And whether you're, lying in bed at night or waking up in the morning, this is just a simple way to help recenter and reset your nervous system. Just take a deep breath. Try to remember, when is the last time that I even did that? Maybe do it right now. And just remind yourself to be doing this throughout the day or whenever you're feeling a lot of that anxiety and stress creep in. Another thing I try to do is keep a very easy, simple routine in the morning, even if that's just 5 minutes. For me right now, it's usually just making sure that I'm having some sort of protein-rich meal or drink, doing some light stretching, relaxing, and maybe listening to a meditation or a hypnosis track. I did hypnosis for my second birth. I did the listening to the hypnosis tracks and following that. And so I am bringing that back again this birth and looking at different hypnosis techniques and leaning into that because I know that it was so beneficial, leaning into that and listening to affirmations and positive hypnosis tracks leading up to my pregnancy. And it's not about having any sort of perfect routine. It's all about creating a moment of feeling safe and having that familiarity around what might be a chaotic morning or day or events that you have happening coming up. And so knowing that you always have that one thing or a couple of things that are going to give you that sense of familiarity and steadiness in your life is going to be really beneficial. And I also have been just trying to stay in bed a little bit later right now, if at all possible. If I have my overnights, then I'm coming back home and immediately going back in bed and just laying down for a little bit and trying not to go on my phone right away, just focusing on resting and processing my thoughts and preparing for what's planned for that day. So just kind of cycling through some things in my head and saying, what am I going to prioritize and what do we have going on and what do I want to accomplish for the day, and really just kind of setting that in motion and doing that as I'm laying in bed. I've also been getting back to the chiropractor during this pregnancy, and it honestly feels like it makes such a huge difference. I don't know pregnancy without chiropractic care, so I can't compare what it would be like if I did not have chiropractic care. But for me, it's something that's just like really powerful, and making sure that I'm getting back into alignment, literally, and making sure that my body is in alignment and my baby is positioned in the best possible way. So finding someone that is certified specifically that works with pregnant women is a huge benefit, but our bodies just hold so much emotion, and being able to release that physical tension can really help release any emotional weight that you might be having as well. I try to go at least once a week, and before I was going with this pregnancy, I had a hard time laying on my right side, and I was also getting some stiff knots in my back on the left, and I was having this like weird tingly sensation in my left arm, almost like it was falling asleep, and having that sort of tingly sensation. And now all of the things I had going on and all those little, even though they were minor things, have gone away. And I'm just super excited about that. I can even, comfortably lay on my back for short periods of time and lay on my right side and move around. And actually, I have not used a pregnancy pillow this time around in pregnancy. I was using it in the beginning because I was like, well, I've needed this with my other two pregnancies. And I felt like it was going to be super helpful, but it actually is more uncomfortable and harder to lay in bed when I do use that huge, massive pregnancy pillow that I was using before. And now we even have more space in bed, and I just don't want it there. And I do sometimes occasionally put a smaller pillow in between my legs and help that when I'm laying on my side. But as far as the big advertised pregnancy pillows that people recommend and I have gone this pregnancy completely without it. So shout out to Ashley, who is actually one of the co-hosts of our upcoming Build Your Village Summit. She is my chiropractor as well, and I'm just absolutely excited about the summit that we have going on, and I highly recommend her, but she is actually going to be taking her own maternity leave. We are both expecting this fall, and she'll be taking some time off, but if you haven't checked out information about the summit that we have coming up, I will definitely be posting that in the show notes. It is Ashley Taylor and I, and you can follow us on Instagram as well at Build Your Village Summit on Instagram, and we have been sharing a lot of different information about that and speakers coming up and what we have going on and how you can get tickets and things like that. So you can go check that out. I will link all that in the show notes. Shout out to Ashley, my chiropractor, as well as my friend and co-host of the summit. And another thing that I really try to consider and bring more awareness to when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed or have some anxiety going on is I make sure to check in with my nutrition, and I ask myself, am I hydrated? Am I nourishing my body? Have I eaten something that is warm and grounding today? Have I been drinking enough water? Do I have electrolytes in that water? What kinds of things am I eating? I like to lean into more protein-rich snacks or just meals in general, having some sort of healthy fat, maybe an avocado if possible, although avocados have been very hard to come by recently around here, which is upsetting, but that has always been another go-to, or maybe like some really good cheese, and just having tons of fresh fruit and vegetables. I have been loving sweet potatoes recently, just taking a whole sweet potato, popping it in the oven, and letting that be a good snack or dessert or whatever it might be, having a little bit of salt and butter on that has just been perfect and exactly what I need and what I've been craving. I'm also back on my pickle fix. I was very heavily into eating pickles early on, and it stopped and kind of leveled out for a while, and now I am back wanting to eat pickles and also drinking a lot of the Element hydration packets, and the citrus and the orange are my absolute favorite. So making sure that you are nourished and hydrated is another way that we can really be helping and tapping into our stress and anxiety and letting that be something that calms us. And I also am a big fan of different teas, like a chamomile, a lemon tea, and also I'll be starting to get more into the red raspberry leaf tea. These are really gentle herbs that you can use to just help ground yourself, bring more safety and everything in your pregnancy, but always make sure that you're just checking with your provider or doing your own research to make those choices for yourself. I never want to recommend anything that does not work well for other people, or if you are not sure if that's something that you want to be incorporating as part of your pregnancy plan. But, I'll just make a cup and sit somewhere comfy and just relax for a minute or two. Even sometimes just warm water with a little bit of lemon can be super helpful and beneficial. I've also had to be really intentional about what I consume and who I surround myself with. And so this means maybe muting different accounts, setting some strong boundaries with people. I've been really trying to not have anything be too heavy or overly critical and try to follow more pages or focus on accounts that are more uplifting and encouraging and aligned with my values and what I'm trying to prepare for this time around. And so just remember that your environment matters, the people that you surround yourself with, even if that is a digital environment, different things that you are consuming and having around you every single day is super impactful. And I've also just found myself not being drawn to content that's too educational when it comes to social media. And, when I go on social media, when I'm on Instagram or I'm scrolling through different reels or stories and things like that, I'm just looking to kind of zone out and scroll and find humor and see what people are up to and maybe get a quick hack or a trending idea, something very just like light and quick. If it is content that is too time consuming, I've been very pushed away, or if they're trying to tell me how to do something or what to do and not aligned with how I want to feel when I'm scrolling and looking, I've just been very pushed away by that. And so if you're feeling that too, I hear you and I see you. And let me know what you like to see on social media. And if you are on it, if you are consuming that kind of information, what stops your scroll? What are you watching? What are you liking? Do you just want to see funny things too? Do you want to see cute little babies and kitty cats and things like that? Because I want to make content that helps you and boosts people up and gives them information, but also I have this amazing podcast and we can get more intentional and deep here and educational. And I do like coming to other podcasts and books also and research articles and things like that for consuming information. But like I said, when it comes to just reels and stories and stuff, I'm not looking for something so deep. So let me know because I want to create more content. I want to bring more fun on Instagram and I want to give you things that you are finding and liking and consuming and saving so that it helps you in this journey of motherhood. So reach out to me, like message me on Instagram at Entering Motherhood, or feel free to send me an email. All that information is always in the show notes. So you can reach out to me and let me know if you want to see certain things in the stories or if you want to know more about how I'm preparing specifically. let me know what you want to see and what you want to hear and what would be more beneficial for you as you're going through this journey. That is also why I'm super excited for our summit. I just mentioned it before when I was talking about Ashley and chiropractic care. You were not meant to do this alone, and it's going to be such an epic in-person event. There's just something about being in person with people and actually interacting with people and having real life conversations and seeing them in person and just hearing from them in person. And I'll be speaking there. Ashley and Taylor are also speaking, and we have such an amazing lineup of speakers as well. We have Caitlin Fusco from Happy Home Birth coming, and we also have He from the Birth Lounge, another podcaster. And we just have so many awesome people and vendors and different things that we want to be doing and making this an annual thing because we need safe spaces to be seen and heard. We need to come together in person and feel that energy in person. And this event is just literally going to be so epic and something like I've never seen before, but something that I've always felt needs to be happening. And so if you are, trying to conceive, currently pregnant, newly postpartum, or you are helping people in this stage, if you know somebody that is, maybe you have a client who would absolutely love this and enjoy this. We envision people to be local, but it is open to anybody that wants to come really sit in this space. We are having a very intentional evening the Friday before for a small group of people. And we are just sitting with each other and hearing each other and opening up our hearts and preparing for these births that we have coming. And tickets are available. Our lineup is all posted. Go check it out. I will rave about this on, and probably even after the event, still just be soaking up all of the goodness that has come from it. So there is still a couple weeks away, and we still have tickets available as I record this episode right now, but I encourage you to go check it out and sit among other people that are in this stage of life. And just kind of wrapping up, one thing that I tell my clients and myself very often is that anxiety is not a flaw. Stress happens to everybody, and it's really just your body asking for safety and reassurance and somebody to listen to. And so when we learn to really just listen very gently instead of trying to push it away and push it down and ignore it, that's when actual healing can happen. And so some affirmations that have been sitting with me lately and really been helping is just, I am safe. My baby is safe. We are supported. We are on the right path. It's okay to slow down. And I have the ability to let go of control without losing my clarity and without losing that vision. We can release control while still holding on to our wants and needs and our vision for where we see things going. I feel like you don't need to do more to be prepared. You're already doing enough and you're exactly where you are supposed to be. And just being present and nurturing yourself, you are absolutely creating the most beautiful space for your baby to grow. And this is the journey and the path that you are meant to be on. With all of that, just seriously, thank you so much for listening and sharing this moment with me. If you are walking through stress or anxiety in this pregnancy right now, just know that you are not alone. You're not broken. And there are these gentle tools and tips and things that can help bring you back to your center and refocus you and realign you and encourage you to know that you are on the right path, exactly where you should be, and you're doing a great job. So if this episode resonated with you, if you loved it, share it with a fellow mama or somebody else who might benefit from this information. You can learn more about the Build Your Village Summit by checking out the show notes about our childbirth education course, Own Your Birth, and you can connect with me on Instagram at Entering Motherhood or at the Build Your Village Summit on Instagram as well. So I would just love to hear from you, love to hear how you're being supported right now, what information you want to know more about, and what fun things maybe you want to see over on Instagram or what episodes you want to hear about here. And until next time, see you later, mama. Thank you, mamas, so much for listening. Remember, you are a rock star. I believe in you. Let's doula this. Let's crank it up a notch and let's kick it into high gear together. Hit that subscribe button, share this episode with a friend, message me, email me, call me, beat me. You know how to reach me. We're doing this, mamas. I am so excited to catch you here next week. This is your one-stop go-to place for helping you find the resources you need to make the best choices for you and your family during pregnancy, birth, and most importantly, postpartum. See you later, mamas.